Well, guys, have I got good news for you? If you've been looking for an Eastonmade wood splitter the last couple of years, you know that we are up here in Canada. A lot of our customers are in the States. A lot of our business in the States, so we're starting to go overseas quite a bit with them. We got a bit out of Canada here, but typically the shipping rates would be really expensive to get it to you guys down in the lower 48. So what we've done is we've done a lot of negotiating, a lot of talking back and forth with our trucking companies and different haulers, and we've actually got this down that there's going to be a $500 flat rate shipping anywhere in the continental US and most of Canada. Like, I can't ship something to Northwest Territories or Firewood or Yukon or somewhere like that for free, or for $500, but we can ship most places now $500. The lower 48, most of Canada, $500 will put an Eastonmade in your yard. Now, if you're not familiar with how we ship things, we normally always ship things on a flatbed. We don't do LTL typically. Some of our smaller stuff, like our MS324s, are smaller products that skid well, that are lighter and can be handled with a forklift on a skid. We'll send LTL like an event. We don't normally send our splitters LTL like that just because of damage. When you get something that heavy on a wooden skid, they don't normally hold together, especially if it goes through a couple of different warehouses. So when we put on a truck, like my buddy Drew's truck here, that stays on that truck until it gets to your yard. So odds of damage is way less in that scenario, and the service that you guys get is typically way higher than you would get if it was LTL. So that is my news. $500 flat rate anywhere in the United States, continental US. So that is pretty exciting for you folks down south. In Canada, we can do this too. If you're in Canada, if you're in Alberta, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, out east, if you're in the Maritimes, BC, $500. We've negotiated that we should be able to cover our costs on that and have you guys get machines at a reasonable price. And the big reason we've been able to do this, guys, too, is if you've been following along with the world economy here, you know it slowed down quite a bit. Like 2 years ago, we couldn't get a truck. It was so hard to even find a truck that the truck drivers could just name their price. That was where it's at. And now that things are slowed down, the economy slowed down to a more normal pace. It's still slow, but it's normalizing. It's got a lot more competitive. So our rates have been able to come down a lot, and we've been able to, again, negotiate it that we should be able to do $500 flat rate shipping on almost everything. And that's a big prop to Kev here in our logistics department. If you've ordered a splitter, how to ship, you've probably talked to Kevin. Super great guy, incredibly knowledgeable, incredibly experienced in this field. This is all Kev has ever done, and he is good at it. The other thing too is we are getting loaded up for Boonville. We're loading up. This is the Wednesday morning of Boonville. I'll probably have this posted this evening. Boonville's coming up this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday looks like it's supposed to be a really good day. Saturday's iffy, Sunday's iffy. But I think all in all, it should be a really good weekend. Last year it poured rain all weekend. Buckets and buckets and buckets of it. It was a little less well attended than it normally is, but this show rivals any other show. It is, if you're in the Northeast, there's a pile of equipment here, and the really cool thing about Boonville is there's something there for absolutely everybody, even if you are not in the wood business or that interested. You can grab a buddy, even if he's not into it, he's going to enjoy it by the time that he's done, or your wife or your kids or what have you. It is a really good show to get out of. It's in between Watertown and Utica, New York. So most places it's not that far to get to. The next show coming up after this is in Green Bay. Green Bay is going to be a good one. Escanaba, it cycles back and forth between Escanaba and Green Bay. It really took us by surprise last year up in Escanaba. It actually turned out to be an incredibly well attended show. It was a really good turnout for vendors. for people. I expect the exact same for Green Bay, even better. So if you're in the Midwest, that's going to be a good show to go to. We have one coming up in Ottawa, Gatineau, or the other side of Gatineau here in September. So if you're a Canadian guy, if you're in the area, that one's fairly close to us. It should be a good one. I went to it years and years ago. It was way up above north of Quebec City, way up there, and it was a good show then. We just kind of got away from it. Mark, our sales manager here, he's fluent. He's bilingual. He's completely fluent in French, completely fluent in English. You'd never tell either way, I don't think. And Mark's been awesome, absolutely incredible for us. If you're looking for a processor used equipment, Mark has Forestry Link. You're looking for anything, he's the guy to call. He will be able to look after you for your processors and stuff. Jerry with the G is still selling our splitters as usual, and he will be in Boonville too. So stop by and say hello to Jerry with the G. He'll be at all the shows. The next show after that, for me, is going to be the same time as the Ottawa Gatineau one. I'm going to go to the 8PF exhibition in Wrigley Estates. I can't remember the name of the town over in the UK, but I will be in the UK September 7th. 8th, 19th, 20th, 21st, somewhere in around there. It's that weekend, I think. But it's going to be a really good show. I heard it's a great show. I've never been to it. I've never been to England. I've been to Scotland, Ireland. We went there maybe 10 years ago. Me and the wife and Jack when he was just a baby, and we had a blast there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the wood industry side of it over in the UK. So if you're in the UK, you're going to that show, stop by and say hello. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to see you. And then after that is the Paul Bunyan show. That's first weekend in October. It's gonna be a really good one. It always is always well attended. Getting to catch up with a lot of good friends there, so it's a good one too. But anyways, guys, that's all I've got for you today. I don't know how much footage, if any, I'm gonna get from Boonville, but I would imagine if you follow any of the Firewood channels, any of the Woodhounds, they will have content up there for you. Yeah, like I said, $500 flat rate shipping to the lower 48 in most of Canada. So just remember that. That's a pretty good deal, guys. Take care.